Center of Excellence is the largest we have in the world. It's the second largest we have across Europe, Middle East and Africa, with today more than 400 employees working here and more than 1,000 employees hopefully working here by 2020. The reason why we picked Egypt and Cairo as a place to locate this Center of Excellence is a few folds. First of all, Egypt is a very important country for us. It's one of the fastest growing countries we have at Uber. There is high demand for the service we are about. And secondly, we've seen that Egypt is a country where it is relatively easy to find some very talented individuals that can speak multiple languages. Finally, and that is the last point, we have built over the years a very strong relationship with the government, and we've always felt that Egypt was a place and a country where foreign companies were welcome to come and to invest. I think we were positively surprised by the growth we have seen in Egypt. We launched a bit more than 3 years ago, and quite frankly, we didn't really know what to expect. And we were blown away by seeing the service, become so popular so quickly. The reasons for this very fast growth, in my opinion, have to do with, number one, the tech savviness of Egyptians. A lot of Egyptians have smartphones and were eager to try those new apps and so on. I think number two, it is fair to say that the city of Cairo and a lot of the Egyptian cities are dealing with a lot of mobility challenges, high congestion, pollution, public transit infrastructure not always being as developed as some of what we see in other places. And finally, I think there was also a big demand for the flexible work opportunities that Uber is about. And this is why in just 3 years, we were able to help more than 60,000 drivers make some money driving on a platform like Uber. So the recent decisions, first of all, don't change Uber's commitment to Egypt. We are here to stay and we will continue to invest in the country. However, those recent decisions and the economic situation has provided a number of challenges. The first one has to do with drivers. Of course, the inflation means that the cost of being a driver has increased for them, and we are working very hard to make sure that we can help drivers reduce the cost of doing business. One example that I can share is, for instance, the work we have done with the Mansour group to help drivers access cars at the cheapest possible price. We have been working closely with the ministers to ensure that this new law, which will come into play, embraces the sort of innovation that Uber is about and fosters the growth of the sector. While I'm very optimistic about this law and looking forward to the law, there are two aspects in particular that are especially important to us. The first one has to do with ensuring that the law doesn't force companies like Uber to compromise on protecting the privacy of our users. We care very deeply about ensuring that users' data is kept private, and we will want to make sure that the new law doesn't force us to compromise on that. The second aspect is to ensure that this new law makes it easy for people to access the sort of economic opportunities that Uber entails. And that means ensuring that people are able to become drivers without necessarily having to buy their own car, but potentially with renting a car or sharing a car with someone else. So it's all about making sure that we can foster entrepreneurship by reducing the barriers to entry for people to become drivers, to earn a living on apps like Uber. Uber is about providing a safe, reliable and affordable ride for people to move around cities. Today we operate in 3 cities in Egypt. We are seeing very fast adoption of our service in those cities, which means that we are going to continue to expand in those cities. Now we also have a willingness to open and offer our service to many more cities across Egypt, which I think would benefit from the improved mobility that apps like Uber can actually foster. When it comes to mass transit options, I would say that the first priority for us is to ensure that this new regulation provides us with a good platform to actually be able to work on those sort of products. We have a lot of mass transit options in cities around the world, ranging, for instance, from Uber Pool, which we have in Paris, in London, or across the US, to minibus services that we run in certain cities in Asia, for instance. Egypt is an important market for us. We want to make it a laboratory where we can test new innovations, but for that we need to ensure that we have the right regulatory environment and the right law in order to be able to make all those innovations happen.